Welcome back to Sad Clown Outdoors. Today, we're talking about the Warrior Products Safari Roof Rack for the YJs, TJs, and maybe even the CJs. I'm not sure if they provide it for that. What are my opinions? Well, I wanted one that on the rear bumper does not go all the way down to the corner because I have the Smittybilt XRC wraparound rear bumper, and that would have been in the way. I would have had to cut and fabricate, so I went with this one. It's very sturdy, it's very effective, it's just the right size for everything I need. I have two awnings mounted to it from ARB. It does hold up to the weight. It has quick disconnects at the front and the rear with these little pins, so you can take that rack off and remove your hard top. So definitely well thought out, solid construction. I've had it now for I think about 8 years, maybe 7, but it's held up great. I have carried several hundred pounds on it repetitively, off-road trails. I've had about, I think, 250 pounds on it while off-roading, and it has handled the shift. I love that it has tubular construction and it has ribs along it that you can really bolt and strap things down to. It is very effective. The only issue is the coating. So Warrior Products has a powder coating, but if it gets any sort of scratch or any sort of damage, it will fail on you. So I repaint this with spray paint, black Rust-Oleum flat black, roughly once a year or two. Now I live in the Southwest, so the fact that I'm having any sort of rust issue, you definitely want to coat it. So I would recommend, if you get this, spray paint it before you put it on. Put it back together, put it up there, and then coat inside the tubes if you can get a coating for that. I know Eastman has an internal frame coating spray. You could probably just spray in there and it would work well. This frame is coated with it. So that being said, it is an outstanding model. It worked for everything I needed. It doesn't stick up too high like some of the roof racks. It doesn't try and pivot out of the way for your hardtop. It's just pull some pins and it's good to go. I also like that there are 3 bolts along the front end that you just undo those 3 bolts, and I undo these 2 pins in the back, and I can just take the roof rack section while leaving the main bases in place, these main support beams. Now, let's see if I can show you some of this damage. So right here, this is an area that gets a lot of rubbing from this, and as the antenna swings back and forth, I've mounted it, but it also gets a lot of just being beat up by trees as I go by them. And it's kind of getting to the point where all this powder coating is just flaking off completely. So I just spray paint it every year and live with it, because everything else about this is a great roof rack. So the Warrior Products roof rack attaches via several bolts through the actual tub. So if you're not willing to drill into the tub, this is not the roof rack for you. This being said, I thought it might be a little more flimsy, but it is very solid. I also siliconed on the inside of these before I bolted them down, inside these plates, just to keep any water or moisture out of that area so it's not up against the tub. So you might want to think about that if you do something of this nature, or you mount something to your tub. Now, I had to do some fabrication. The brackets they initially gave me did not fit in this channel, so I cut a sliver, so to speak, off this bracket and made it fit in here, and I was able to bolt it up nicely. But as you can see, these little things have pins. They come right out and the whole thing comes apart. I put a light bar on there, as you can see in one of my other videos, and I just put a quick disconnect right here in the wire, and it works. I also tape these pins down so that I don't hear the rattling, because at first when I got this, it would rattle and make a lot of noise. So overall, very sturdy. Just needs some paint time to time, but I paint underneath the vehicle roughly once a year anyway, flat black, just to make sure nothing rusts there, even through the winter salt. So it's great, especially for the price. So if you're looking for a roof rack, I would definitely consider Warrior Products. See you next time. Feel free to like and subscribe.